There's a story to be told, a future to behold. There is more to who we are than what they hear. We have love within our soul, fire in our bones. We've got everything it takes to make it here. There's much more within our soil, more than just our oil. We can grow the food to feed the whole world square. Agriculture is the key. There's treasure in the trees. The time is now, the land is green, wealth is here. This is our nation, this is our land. Nigeria is ours. We have everything we need. If we could only see, the time is now, the land is green, wealth is here. There are 200 billion dreams. Any one of these is able to begin a spark and change the world. There's innovation everywhere, from Aba to Ife to Kaduna. The land is green, the wealth is here. Yeah, this is our nation, this is our land. Yeah. Nigeria is ours. We have everything we need. If we could only see, the time is now, the land is green, the wealth is here.
If you take a look around, from the north to south, there are opportunities to make it here. But if all you ever dream is to go overseas, tell me how you'll ever know that wealth is here. Oh, yeah,
This is our nation, this is our land. Oh, Nigeria is ours. We have everything we need. If we could only see, the time is now, the land is green, the wealth is here. So pass on the baton, pass on the torch. Nigeria is ours. We have everything we need. If we could only see, the time is now, the land is green, the wealth is here. Oh yeah. So this is our nation, this is our land. Oh yeah. Nigeria is ours. We have everything we need. If we could only see, the time is now, the land is green, wealth is here.
What sector has enough potential to cater for the growing population in Nigeria? What sector is bubbling with diverse and profitable opportunities? What sector can enhance the Nigerian economy and propel you to thrive? How can you tap into this sector? Be a part of the Business of Agriculture Masterclass, coming up from the 5th to 7th of July 2021. 3 days, 9 sessions, 15 speakers, and 7 value chains. Tap into profitable opportunities in agriculture, build wealth, achieve financial freedom. Visit www.businessofagriculture.org and register for the free Business of Agriculture Masterclass, designed to make you think agri. This is brought to you by the Private Sector Advisory Group of the UN SDG Fund.
Now, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 2 of the inaugural Business of Agriculture Masterclass. Welcome to the session on the business of animal husbandry. My name is Sheyi Felaja, and I will be your moderator for this session. Animal protein, such as meat, chicken, pork, mutton, chevron, snail, and etc., are found in a wide variety of Nigerian meals. With a growing population of 2.8% per year, there is a ready increase in the demand for animal product for consumption in the country. For example, Nigeria imports more than 25% of the beef that it consumes. Record has it that over 15 countries bring in their livestock to the market space in Lagos alone. According to the CBN, the demand for poultry in 2019 was estimated at over 200 million, as against the 165 million that is currently produced, while the demand for eggs was about 790,000 metric ton, as against 650,000 metric ton produced, and about 1.5 million metric ton as against 350,000 of meat, that is poultry meat. This leaves a huge gap with a market size of over 30 trillion naira and an annual growth rate of about 12.7%. There is still an untapped market opportunity in animal husbandry. This session will provide a detailed context on the business opportunities in this value chain, and will provide highlights, fundamentals that brings aspiring livestock business entrepreneurs and investors need to know and to thrive in the sector. We will go on a short break now, and we will be back to kick it off officially. Thank you for coming along. All right, welcome back. Before we go to the panel discussions, I will give you an overview of the business of animal husbandry in Nigeria. Our technical team is going to put up a slide now. All right. Our slide is in view. Now, Nigeria's population will grow. Can I have the font increased a little? So it states there that our population is growing extensively. Within the next 3 decades, we will see huge increase in temperature. That is this has been purported between 2015 to 2050. The population will double. And that is to say that whatever it is that is required for that population growth is already here. There is nothing else that we need to do to make it happen. We are set for a population of 400 million in number by 2020, by 2050. And this 400 million will largely result into an increase in the demands from a current 94 million by increase in demand and increase in population in the urban areas from 94 to 280 million. That is urban residents alone. Now, this goes without saying, this goes without saying that the demands for protein, animal sourced food produce will be on the rise. Okay, sorry, I'm having some little itches with the slide. Can we have the font increase a little bit? It's thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to take that again. Nigerian population will grow swiftly and transform extensively in the next 3 decades. From between 2015 to 2050, the population will double. That is, get to almost 400 million. And the number of people living in urban areas will triple from 94 million to 280 million. Thank you. Now, meeting the increased demand for animal source foods will involve rapid growth in herd size and productivity. That is often associated with intensification. In certain scenarios, the poultry population may increase up to 900 million. That is over 650 to 700% from the current 180 million today, while the cattle population may double to 37 million herds today. Okay, can we see the next part? All right. And along with all of that movement, we would also see an increase in GDP per capita that will be around 7,137 US dollar. And as a result of this change, the demand for livestock product will further, rise exponentially. Projections suggest that poultry meat, beef, and milk will grow by 253%, 117%, and 577% respectively. That is according to the Food and Agriculture Organization. So the structure for this sector might also change tremendously. For example, the share of cattle in intensive system changes from 1% as we have it today up to about 33% in some scenarios, which involves significant increases in average productivity and yield. The livestock industry will radically transform to respond to this increasing demand. Next slide, please. So the impressive population growth and income, income will bring to the fore developmental opportunities. The huge rise in demand for animal source food presents great opportunity for farmers, producers, and other value chain actors, and can support broader societal development through employment generation and poverty reduction, not forgetting food security and nutritional benefits that would derive from protein-sourced food. Apart from development, there is a negative trade balance that will exist. The impressive population growth and income increase that the country foresees to experience as a result will bring about huge demand. And we're saying that in spite of many of you that are watching that will go into the business of animal husbandry, there will still be some level of import that may be needed for certain livestock commodity in the future. So the opportunities are vast. So can you put it in view? So as always, demand drives supply, even in the commercial livestock farming industry. The kind of animals reared in Nigeria for consumption based on the demand for them includes cow, goat, cattle, pig, and several others. While poultry birds include chicken, turkey, and duck. Fish comes into that picture too, especially catfish that is presently and currently being bred for its meat also. Today we take a brief but closer look at each animal bred for consumption in Nigeria to know more about them and to see how we can help you to train you and to start any one of them, put you in the direction of decision making. So you will stay tuned with us as we take you on this ride. Now, to help you better appreciate the animal sector, I'll be talking to a panel of experts, and together we will take a deeper dive into choosing the right animal husbandry agribusiness to venture in, understanding the animal husbandry market, starting an animal-based agribusiness, and investing in animal husbandry agribusiness. We will take you through all of this. But in the meantime, let's go on a short break, and I'll be back to introduce the panelists. Thank you. All right. Welcome back. I sincerely hope that your expectations are high, because we're just getting started now, and we have a number of experts with us today to analyze animal husbandry value chain in Nigeria and the business opportunities that exist, as shared in the previous slide. Further will be said. Now, our first panelist is Miss Ife Adeniyi. She's a young agripreneur with an excellent credential in agribusiness, entrepreneurship, hotel management, civic leadership, administration, and youth engagement and development. She is a certified UNDP supply chain consultant with experience in pig farming and agribusiness development. Her exceptional passion to feed our country has made her to establish over 15 pigs farms. She has resuscitated over 7 farms and also consults for investors and agribusiness enthusiasts by turning their ideas into sustainable, profitable businesses. Ife, you are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Shiri. It's great to be here.
All right. Our next panelist, Dr. Mohammed Abubakar Bala, the Vice President of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. Dr. Bala is a practicing veterinary surgeon with over 26 years of experience that I am aware of, and extensive experience in livestock production, animal health, and management. He is a consultant and a fellow of the professional postgraduate with a professional postgraduate diploma in veterinary surgery at the College of Veterinary Surgeons, Nigeria. And Dr. Bala was appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari into the governing board of Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria in 2018, and ratified his election as a member and vice president of the Council of Nigeria, of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, VCN, in 2020. Dr. Bala, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. Good to be here.
All right, our final panelist this morning is Dr. Tunde Adegoke Amole, the country representative for the International Livestock Research Institute, that's ILRI, Nigeria. Dr. Amole is a livestock scientist with over 10 years experience in the production and improvement of livestock feed resources, forage production, and utilization. He works on increasing resilience of smallholder farmers in the Sahelian areas of West Africa by providing a handbook manual of least cost ration for sheep fattening, which is an important livelihood resource point for crop livestock farmers in Sahel region. Dr. Amole conducted a comprehensive research on livestock water management in water-scarce dry land of sub-Saharan Africa. Please make welcome Dr. Amole. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sheyi. Good to be here.
All right. I welcome all panelists to the session on agribusiness, on business of animal husbandry. Going forward, we are going to be taking on specific questions around the dynamics of starting and thriving in an animal husbandry business to give all of our audiences useful insights into the value chain, as it were, of the animal husbandry space. So now, first of all, I would like to run through the panels for us to discuss on how do you begin to choose the right animal husbandry enterprise or agribusiness to venture into. How do I know the right animal husbandry agribusiness to venture? What are the key challenges, if there be any, within the value chain I should be wary of, and what ways to manage these challenges? We would like to take this points opinions from our panelists. I would like to begin with the lady first in talking about this particular point. After we take Ife's contribution, we will go ahead to listen to Dr. Bala, and also last but not the least, we will listen to Dr. Tunde. Ife?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Shea. For us, in considering a piggery enterprise, one of the main things to actually look out for will be your locations. There are some places in Nigeria where they don't consume pork meat, and it will be anti-business for you to set up your farm in such locations. In Nigeria presently, where pork meat is being consumed the most, we Lagos, the South region, that's Warri, Edo State, Cross River, and some places in Ibadan. But if you're having your pig farm in Zaria, for example, where they don't consume pig, that's like anti-business. You have to spend so much money in getting into the market. That's the first thing. Then the second thing is the capital that you have that is available to you. If you're considering a piggery enterprise, you have to piggery is capital intensive if you're doing it commercially. If you're trying to do subsistence farming, is not farming, that's not business. So if you're trying to actually go into the business of piggery, it's capital intensive, and those are the things that you have to, those are the two major points that you really have to put into consideration. Then the third one will be the expertise that is available for you. Um, Farm management practices can actually run an enterprise if it's not done well. If you don't have the expertise to carry out the business, that is bound to fail. And I think the fourth thing I would also like to mention is that you have to do your visibility study. It's very, very, very important. Everybody say agri is profitable, but they don't have a market entry plan. So if you don't have a market entry plan, it might take you a while before you solidify yourself in the industry. So those are the four major points for me.
All right, thank you, Ife. Dr. Bala would like to have your view. Choosing the right animal husbandry agribusiness to venture into. Understanding the markets and starting an animal-based agribusiness. We've heard from Ife's case on piggery. So what would you say to us?
Thank you so much, Mr. Ifelaja. And Ife, thank you for that opener. It's always very nice having this kind of discussion. The very good thing for Nigerians is that we are people that love eating flesh. It's not like in other countries where they will want to be competing with livestock ruminants, where they say they are vegetarians. Nigerians and Nigerian population is highly carnivorous, and we love our milk, we love our chicken, we love our pork, we love our beef, mutton, and then what have you. So that is one very nice thing for the business of livestock agriculture. The second other thing, like Ife has actually said, is that Nigeria, with its population, young people will not take anything, just anything for a meal. They want very good quality food. Growing up, if you give me amala or you give me tuwo without meat, I'm not going to eat it. I will go for any other thing. And it is important that we know that the market is there, the demand is very high, and then now, depending on where you are coming from in Nigeria, you have actually gotten a stake, and then you can actually be a part of livestock agriculture. Like Ife did said, you need to look at the cultural leanings of the people in terms of what is that that is ethically allowed in religiously or traditionally. Is that what kind of capital do you need in getting into the production? I mean, so many people will say, oh, poultry is what I actually wanted to do. Yes, you can do that. It's capital intensive, but in a small space, you could have over 10,000 broiler, I mean, close to like 10,000 metric tons of chicken coming out in less than 6 weeks. I mean, that is huge. Even though it is capital intensive, these are areas where you can put in your money, and then you can even just stay for 6 weeks, don't sleep, and then you can get back your money. The other aspect of it is also looking at what exactly is happening now. Some few months back, we could go to the market and buy a kilogram of beef for less than 1,500. Today is about 2,500. So it is actually an opportunity for anyone to go into beef cattle production. And with beef cattle production, we're not talking about allowing the animals to wander. It is all about getting a small space, and then you teeter the animal to a location, get someone within 1 or 2 months, and then you are sure that for every day you serve about a kilogram of concentrate, the animal is very, very much likely going to gain a kilogram of meat. So it is actually very lucrative, and then it depends on the socio-cultural leanings of the people, the amount of cash that is available for you, the space. What exactly is causing the problem today is simply because our foreparents went into livestock production without having a very good business plan. And that is why you find them wandering with the animals from the north to the south, not knowing exactly what to do with this wealth. So if you have a small space, you can actually do beef fattening, you can do goat production, you can do sheep production. Salah for Muslims is in sight. In 2 weeks' time, we are going to be celebrating Eid al-Adha, and one major resource required is the ram. And you can get this ram, you know, maybe just 2 months, and then you feed and fatten, and then by the next week you are done, and you are going to be smiling to the bank. So it is very lucrative, depending on your location, depending on the kind of resources you have been able to garner, and the market closer to you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Bala, for that insight. Uh, I love the fact that you mentioned animal fattening. That is what is popularly or technically known as feedlot finishing, if I'm correct, with cattle. So we're going to take Mr. Tunde, Dr. Tunde's opinion right now on choosing the right animal husbandry enterprise to venture into in the agribusiness space. Mr. Tunde, your time.
Yes, thank you so much. And my apologies for the camera that is going off and on, but I will try and make sure we're able to sustain the energy of the viewers while listening to what we could say by now. Without missing word again, I want to reiterate all what the two speakers ahead of me have said, and to also add that these factors that have been listed, they are all interwoven. Okay, you will not take one and say that's all you need. You must be able to get certain percentages of your production cost. You know, the value of the resources you have, the location where you are, the location of the market. That was what Ife was trying to say, that it's important that even before you go into the business, you are not just going to rear animal for yourself. You want to market them. So where is the market? And all of this put together, I'm adding one point saying that your interest also matters. Where is your interest? That's one of the things that will sustain you, because you believe with me that every businesses will have its own challenges. So when challenges come, when it seems your expectation is not coming forth, your interest in that species of animal is going to sustain you. If you are not a fan of the large ruminant and a friend of yours just entered into it and fatting, you know, you bought an animal for 210 in the last 3 months, now you are fatting it and it's going for 340, 350, and you say, wow. And you know, the benefit is in the numbers, but you are not interested. You can't really stay put with probably the dongs, you know, the way they may look, you know, your interest, or even you're talking about pigs, your interest also matters. And one of the things we always recommend is for you to go around and see what is happening elsewhere. Visit an aquaculture farm, visit a pig farmer, visit someone who is practicing feedlots, visit the people in the poultry. You know, in the poultry, you have the laying birds, you have the broiler birds. Then you could be able to come together. Let not the profit you will gain drive you alone, while you consider other factors that the two speakers ahead of me had mentioned. Major addition I'm putting into it is your interest. Where does your interest lie? Which one do you fall in love with? Whatsoever you want to do and you don't have a passion and a love for it, what will be driving you will be difficult. When you have challenges along the way, you will think you have lost all your money. But because your interest is there, you are there until you are able to scale the challenges. You know, in your question, I don't know if you still want us to talk about some of the key challenges, but can I go ahead with that?
Well, you can mention that, but I am sure that you still probably have to refer to some of the things you will say.
All right, so maybe I should stop on that because there will be challenges. Okay,
all right.
Your interest is going to sustain you. When we get there, we talk more about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tunde. Thank you, Dr. Bala. Thank you, Miss Ife. That's succinctly put. I hope our viewers are getting expectations met. You know, I heard about location, being location specific. I heard something in there about funding, coming in with funds to do it like a business, not as a hobby. I heard scale, specific references was made to scale as to how large you can start with poultry, how large you can start with livestock, be it large ruminants or the smaller ruminants, sheep and goats, and interest, passion, zeal. These have been touched, and I would love for you to, pay particular attention to those things that have been listed. Now we're going to be looking at understanding the market. Every agribusiness or agriculture enterprise, I dare say, should be demand driven. There should be a market. There is no point producing what no one is buying. So in the animal husbandry space, there should be an understanding of the market. We're going to go around this. We'll run through our panelists once again for them to, give us some precisions about the market, understanding the market. What is the consumption market pattern for each type of livestock that is in focus? Miss Ife is going to be telling us about, the pattern for pigs. Dr. Bala rightly mentioned, he told us about the seasonality in demands for ruminants. So we want to discuss consumption and market patterns for each type of livestock. How do one begin to identify customers, off-takers, target markets for many, for animal husbandry business, whether cattle, whether poultry, whether piggery, snailry, whatever it is? How do you begin to identify your market? What are the key pitfalls to avoid in selecting target markets? This is key. Business would not have been done if you cannot convert produce to real revenue, real money. So, and I dare say that in this space, there are, by way of experience, there are places where you probably would not want to go to offer your wares, your goods, so that they are kind of like pitfalls. I would want for panelists to touch on this. Then lastly, what are the most that one is tricky, but in your opinions, the most marketable livestock? Let us start again with Ife. Miss Ife, indulge us.
I think we've lost Ife.
Okay, maybe before we get it back, Dr. Bala, please.
Okay, thank you.
Take the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ifelaja, moderator. It is important that you know the kind of market you want to play in. You cannot, and then in agribusiness, the means actually determines the end. You have to have in mind what we call food safety. Food safety, because food is what we eat, and food is what we eat, and it's a very essential commodity that, if not being processed very well, becomes a disease-causing line for all of us. So the first thing is that you cannot be going in for dairy production in the cattle, and then you get a cattle breed that is meant for beef cattle production, for beef. So you have to have a very good understanding of the market you want to play in on, and you have to understand that if you are going to make yogurt, fresh milk, there are certain breeds of cattle that will give you very, very optimal yield, even locally here, and foreign breeds. it is also the same thing that what you get in terms of size or sweetness from the chicken is different. While with improved breeds of chicken, you can get a dress weight of about 2 kg in 6 weeks. Our local breeds or the guinea fowls or some of the poultry breeds, the dogs, may not give you that in 6 months. So the very key thing is that you first will have to identify what you want to do, who do you want to supply this to, and how do you intend, achieving this. And that is why you see our mothers with a lot of sheep and goats back in the village. And the target is that when there is naming ceremony or there are need for wedding or ceremonies like Eid al-Kabir, Salah, Christmas, and wedding or burial, they actually have something that they fall back at. It is also very key in terms of security that they just rear these animals. When the child wants to go back to school, they are able to take 1 or 2 of these animals and then they take to market, an open market, and there is always a ready market and people buy to just getting that 20 to 50,000 naira to paying the school fees of their wards. So in all the value chain, in all the species, there is actually opportunity and you are able to actually tap in. But one very tricky thing is that you don't go to the bank taking a very big loan and then you are investing it in raising local chicken. That won't work because it is going to take you about 6 months. Meanwhile, the newest technology, husbandry technology, demands that in 6 weeks, instead of 6 months, in 6 weeks, your birds are up to table size and then you can get to the market and then go to the bank. So it is important for people to look at the type of livestock that you are going to be rearing and then what is your target. And that requires that you don't have to spend that kind of money depending on the kind of husbandry technology and the type of production that you are into. One key thing that you must take note of is that these are living things, they are animals, and they are prone to diseases. And pests and diseases is one major challenge in livestock production, and you must have that covered. So for each species of animal, if it is sheep and goat, majority of us know of what we call PPR, goat kata. Goat kata, we must be very, very familiar with this, and that knowing very well that this will always come and there are also certain kind of season, it is also important we know that there are vaccines and vaccinations available. These are you can prevent them by vaccination, and it's highly, highly very effective. It is the same thing with the cattle. We have certain pests and diseases of the cattle that you need to actually check and making sure that you are covered. Just like in poultry production, be them local or the improved stock that we have, the one we call agric, you must have a very good vaccination schedule. You must have a very nice what we describe as IPC, infection prevention and control, put in place. Otherwise, billions of naira sunk in livestock or poultry production will just be cleaned up by one simple disease. You will just wipe off your animals and you wake up and then they are diseased and you can't get them out. Now, the last question, that which of this is most marketable? Mr. Ifelaja, I will want to tell you that any aspect of livestock production that you engage in, it is very, very marketable, depending on your knowledge of the market, your knowledge of the production system, and the kind of resources that is available to you. You can always go to the bank smiling, because from pig production to cattle, beef cattle production, dairy cattle production, the sheep and goat fattening or production, to poultry production. If you do it very well, if you take note of every aspect of this foundation that we have laid in terms of the kind of stock that you get for the production, the type of market, and then the kind of resources and your knowledge of that particular production, you are going to be very happy and will enjoy being part of livestock agriculture.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bala. I hear you very well. You know, starting up with food safety, breed types. You mentioned something about good management practice there, and capping it all up, the fact that every livestock or animal husbandry enterprise is very, very profitable. I couldn't agree less. I couldn't agree more, rather. We're going to take Dr. Tunde's perspective on these questions before we now come to Miss Ife. Dr. Tunde.
All right, thank you. And thanks to Dr. Bala. I just want to build up on what he has said. Like, you are asking, how do I identify the market for my animal husbandry? Let me just give a list before discussing other issues. You must be aware that there are different off-takers and markets for whatsoever you are producing. And I can give you a list. You have those who are food manufacturers, and that's where what Dr. Bala said is coming in. If you are going to be supplying to such high-end markets, your production system must also be fantastic and get rid of any contamination that can, make your products lose value before them. Since it's an high-end market, it's important that you follow all the standard of operation in producing your livestock products. And obviously, you are going to get good returns if you target such market. If you are a smallholder, you can also aggregate. You can gather together, because I want to let you know that food manufacturer, food processing centers, people that actually work with livestock products in their factory, they take large volume of product. You don't raise 500 broilers and you are sending it to probably ShopRite or other people that are, into other using livestock product as raw material for their own product. You will need to also work with other farmers producing a specific weight, specific size. They will have told you what they need. If you want to be supplying Friesland Campina with milk, they will have told you this is the condition at which your milk must get to the collecting center. They would have given you specifications.
Specifications, yeah.
Yes, and you must follow the specification. And if you are going to be aggregating with other farmers around you, all of you must follow the specification. But I let you know that this market is an high-end market and is highly profitable. You will agree with me from what Dr. Bala said initially, that, and from what Sheyi said in his presentation, the consumption of livestock products in Nigeria is massive. Just in Lagos Okwaba market alone, over 6,000 heads of cattle is slaughtered every day. at Akinyele Abattoir in Ibadan alone, 800 heads of goats are slaughtered every day, not monthly. 800 in pieces every day. So I am so sure we cannot oversaturate this market. The market is wide, is open. Development is making people to also go for quality things. Okay. Now you can also target the civil servant. Now at this time, you know that you are producing towards the end of the month. Someone knows that you are selling frozen chicken. Someone knows that they can team up together and buy a cow from you, and you slaughter maybe for 4 people, and and it's monthly they are picking it. Now, the level of knowledge on food safety is driving the elite to a more decent livestock products. For example, I am aware of people who won't go to the local market to go and buy livestock products. They need someone who could work with them to share a whole cattle monthly for about 5 or 10 people and deliver at doorstep. This is happening everywhere. Food market is there, normal market is there, restaurant, you have the restaurant, you have the local market, you also have individual in your locality. And that's why the point we have all made about where you want to site, I mean, your location is quite important when you are dealing with getting into livestock business. Where is my location? Where is the market? What are the markets around my location? Okay, because livestock issues, they are site specific. Like if I said, you cite a pig farm of over 1,000 heads of pig in the northern part, it's not going to work well. You will need to transport your product to the south, okay? Or you are looking at setting up within a class of people, and that's one of the things you must now be wary of. What are the class of people I am targeting with my product? That will help you to go a bit further if you are going to process your product or you are selling it live. Okay, if you be going into laying birds, are you going to be supplying some small supermarkets within your locality? Do you want farmers to come to the farm gate? So you must be able to ascertain different type of market around you, understand how that market is, what is the economic value of each market. Otherwise, you will have spent huge amount of money to produce, a livestock product, and you are taking it to the local market where it will be priced lesser. So you come back and say what these people are saying is not true. I've invested $1 million. Now all I have just gotten, I'm even running after people to pay. I've just gotten 400,000. You are not targeting the right market. So if you are a smallholder farmer, target a small market. If you'll be going into more advanced, adding some other sophisticated, inputs into your production, then you must target other psychographic profile. People who there are a lot of meat shops all around us. There are a lot of fast food all around us. I know very well a friend of mine who is now into goat farming, and his target is to supply the cafeteria in the local market. From his study, each of the 4 cafeteria in its almost 20-25 kilometer radius slaughter about 2 to 3 heads of goats every day. So he is making their target. Now he has struck an agreement. He has an agreement with them that don't come and buy, I will deliver it. So with the cost of production and the cost of delivery, this market, this cafeteria, they don't even bother themselves of where to get this animal. They are bringing it for them, and that market can just continue. Now, when you look at even the source of your own where you can source inputs into your farm, you must also consider it. If the feed you need, the vaccine you need, all the products you need are almost 30 kilometers away from you, then you will run into problem. Because generally, let me make this point. The market price of your product is somehow how do I put it? Limited. I'll give you an example. If you're targeting ShopRite, if you're targeting a local market, if you're targeting what type of market you are targeting, it seems there is a price bracket of those different products. So, I mean, markets. Therefore, where your break-even point is your cost of production. When your cost of production is very high, then you are taking it to a market that doesn't understand that kind of cost of production. Then you won't be in business after 2 years. And like
that long.
I mean, you can't even be in business after your cost production. You have to close down. Then you say this thing is not profitable. What is your cost of production? What is the market size? What is the market profile I am targeting? If I'm targeting people in metropolitan city and I want to be supplying them, I want to make an application, a app on the phone, just give me a call, I will deliver 10 kg, 5 kg of meat to you. I know how to prepare that. I know how to produce that. I know the size of my market. I know how to increase it, and I know the cost of my production. And finally, talking about what is the most marketable livestock product. Generally, livestock issues are site specific, depending on where you are. If you are going to wherever you are located, look at the economic level of where you are, then target the market to suit what you are doing. Every livestock species is profitable depending on your knowledge, your technical knowledge, your production cost knowledge, and the type of market or off-takers you have targeted while you are going into the business. Let me stop for now, then we add others to it later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tunde. That's quite insightful, full. It's amazing the high level communications that are coming up from these discourses. Now, Ife, you're welcome back. We lost you in a bit. We would love to hear from you, no matter how little, on the question of consumption market patterns. And are you conversant with the question? Do you want me to go through it again? Unmute so that we can hear you.
All right, thanks for that. I've seen the questions, and I was able to catch on some of what the panelists have said, and actually it has covered a lot of what I'm about to say. And like Dr. Bala said, he said Nigerians are flesh eaters. So when we talk about the consumption pattern, really, and for piggery now, over 50 tons of pork meat, live pigs are gotten from Lagos State. That's from Okearo, the biggest pig farm settlement, Ibadan, Ondo State, to the south market alone. And there's still another shortfall of 50 tons as well, because we have this huge supply and demand gap. So when it comes to the consumption and the market pattern, really the market is available. And looking at the other statistics, the rate of growth of the Nigeria economy, the rate of population growth, urbanization trends, the meat market, the livestock market is actually a place to be. So the consumption pattern keeps increasing as people tend to earn more, families continue to grow, and that should not be a worry, because it keeps increasing. Now, how do I identify my customer off-takers targets? In piggery, we have different enterprises. We'll have the farrow to finish. When I say farrow to finish is when you have a pig enterprise where the animals give birth on your farm and then you fatten them off and then you sell them. Then we have the winners, where you buy winners, fatten them off and sell them off. And then we also have where you just go and buy growers and fatten them and set them off. So it depends on the kind of locality that you are in and the kind of capital and the duration of your ROI. When do you expect your returns on investments? For the farrow to finish, we're talking about in 10 months. For the winners to that's the feeder pig system, we'll be talking about 4 months. So I think those are the things that you have to consider as well. Now, if you're in a location where you don't have too many pig farms, you won't. Can you hear me, please?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Okay.
You are
Am I
very
going
audible.
too fast? Because I can actually talk very fast. And please take me back if I'm going too fast. I talk really, really, really
Please
fast.
carry.
So,
We can comprehend
okay.
everything you're saying.
Okay, so now in the feeder system, another third enterprise is when you raise winners for people and then you sell them off for people that want to fatten. But if you're in an environment whereby you don't have too many pig farms around, you can't set up that kind of system. So like we said in the beginning, and like most of the panelists have said, your location is going to determine the type of enterprise you're going to go into. So if you're in a location whereby there are not too much pig farms, you don't have pig farmers that will buy your winners, you shouldn't try the winners, selling of winners. But if you're in a location whereby there are a lot of pig farms, then that's a very, very good enterprise to go into. And if you're thinking of you have the market, like if you're in the south, for example, or even places like Lagos, Ibadan, where urbanization trend has changed people's preferences and
You know what?
religion and cultural.
Sorry to cut in. Let me hold you up right there. You are giving out a lot of information that some questions are still going to attend to, and I would love for you to keep that thought so that you can share it with
Okay.
us. Then this is they are very, very good uh, market informations and like information you need for investments decision, as it were. We're going to ask a question in that regards, and yes, I would love for you to speak this again. Let our viewers hear this. Viewers, get ready with your pen and paper or recording devices. You need to hear these things that Ife is saying. And I would like to make it clear that, the specialty of the animal husbandry subsector, as it were, is that everything that she has said so far, majority of it is also applicable with other livestocks. She made a point here now concerning the different enterprises in that production activity in the value chain. It is not just for meat. And Dr. Tunde also said that. I hope viewers are catching that. He said there is for milk, there is for meat, there is for eggs, there is for even inputs. In the value chain, there are input suppliers. Those are the opportunities. The moment a producer or a farmer gets up and makes a decision, I want to produce, what he or she has done, in essence, is to activate every other player in the value chain, from input supplier to off-takers who will be processing, food companies, households, all the way down to the final consumers. So you, beyond your decision to produce anything, there is a lot that goes with it in terms of opportunities that arise in this space. We're going to be going to the next, question. It has to do with starting an animal-based agribusiness. If I will speak more to this in this question too. Now, what skill and competencies are required to thrive in this sector? What regulations landscape should you be mindful of? We don't want you to err. We want you to produce, and we want you to do it in a sustainable way where you will not be constituting a nuisance to the environment, that regulatory authorities will be on your case and you'll be shut down even before you begin. So you need this kind of system thinking to view holistically all that you will require. We might not be able to touch on all of that, but we are telling you that that does happen. It's a requirement. You need to know what regulatory landscape that you should be mindful of. Our panelists will touch briefly on those. Then where you can get expert support, where you can meet and contact people that will work with you to set you in the path of success. Now, this set of questions, let's take it away with Dr. Bala. Dr. Bala, can you, starting an animal-based agribusiness, what skill competencies, please?
Thank you again, Mr. Moderator. The very important thing that you look at, let me first start from your last question, because that will immediately talk about, help me in answering the other aspect. Now, you have a lot of government support when it comes to livestock production. The only thing is that we don't always know where to go to in asking. Sometimes for the big guys who are in there, they can afford private sector intervention in terms of support and extension services. Now, virtually in every local council, you have those who provide support in the ADPs. The ADPs is Agri Development Project, and you also have gotten the state government and then the state government, federal government supporting these local councils in making sure that they provide this extension services. So you will actually look out for where you can get some stock, because if you talk about pigs, you need very good piglets. And then some of this estate, like for instance, in Lagos State, I'm aware of the pig estate where you can get not only the seed in terms of the piglets, but you are also able to quality piglets, imported or even the crossbred ones that can stand our hardship situation. But also you can get support in terms of disinfectant, in terms of drugs, in terms of husbandry, some information as regards market for your product. It is also right that you also, for those who want to go into beef cattle and dairy cattle production, you have such some state governments in the north. I know of Adamawa State, I know of Kaduna State, I know of Kano State, I know of Sokoto State, I also know of Katsina State, where you can get artificial insemination. Artificial insemination is a new technology where you can upgrade the local breeds of our animals and getting them to be of great yield. They can give you more milk. If you rely on our local breeds, hardly will you get a liter or 2 liters of milk, and it's a challenge when you can actually get up to 20 liters of milk or about 15 liters of milk. You have a cattle that you're spending all the time, the money, and then the feed, and then will give you 2 liters of milk. Now, you will also get a lot of people and information to talking to you in terms of the location of your animal. You cannot go to a place where water production is a problem and then you said you want to do aquaculture, or you go to Lagos and that you want to do ranch in Lagos. I mean, these are just not right. And you have authorities and so many other support coming from government where you can get this. If you are disappointed and not getting some of this kind of advice, please come to Dr. Bala Mohammed. We have gotten so many platforms. The only thing is that you will get very good service, just like they say, better soup, na money kill. We will provide you with very good services, but what is that thing called? Ego, you will have to follow so that we provide you with the best. Thank you, sirs.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Don't be baffled. Don't be scared about the money part. Money will not kill you here. Because we can always, watch your enterprise and do cost structure that will not put you out of business because you're
And then Mr. Shay, we have also gotten hundreds of young people that we are working with, and it's always my pleasure that every day we wake up in our practice in our home and we have egg, we have fresh milk, we have beef, we have chicken free given to us from some of the people we support. It is one of the things that we do. I know I have learned a lot from you, and Dr. Amole is also there, though he's working for an international institute. They are always very, very approachable without any cost, and then we can always, through this kind of initiative, structure interventions in market, in fund, in production system itself, and so many other areas as part of our corporate social responsibility. So you can always feel free in borrowing from those who are established, and then also borrowing from even government workers who, in a way, are not doing exactly that production, but they've gotten a lot of knowledge in terms of production. So we are here to support it. I always say this, that no matter how rich a country is, how rich we get from oil, we are not going to eat naira, neither are we going to eat dollars or pounds or euros. We are going to eat food, and it has to be produced the way we want it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Bala. Straight away, let me go to Dr. Tunde. Your view.
Yes, thank you so much. And Dr. Bala, thank you for that insightful conclusion. Just to pick up from that end as well, he has mentioned the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, the International Livestock Research Institute, where in Ibadan. He has mentioned the agricultural sector, the agri development organization in each state. Now, I will just add to the list, you could also be talking to the association of the particular target species you like to get into. I know when Ife will come on board, she will be telling us more about their association, the Pig Association of Nigeria, the Poultry Farmers Association of Nigeria, the Sheep and Goat Farmers Association of Nigeria, the Cattle Fattener. I mean, you can, these are areas where you can leverage on what people have gone through so that you won't burn your fingers. It's important. Even though I know your business is a private business and you want to succeed probably above other people, that's fine. That's a good desire. But you know that you are just new in this business and people have gone ahead of you. Take a clue from the association, you know, 2 or 3 people within the association to support you. All right, on that. Some of the technical things you will need, but for yourself, you must have a managerial skill yourself. Honestly speaking, because from experience, you don't set up a farm and travel to the US and put somebody there to manage for you. Luckily, you may get, but to be honest with you, in my village, they said that your hand is your hand, it's not another person's hand. So even if you are not going to be there, you have digital technology that can put things in place to monitor what is going on the farm. So you must have a managerial skill. Yeah. You must have a little skill in that, I mean, technical skill of what you want to do. Otherwise, you may be unlucky to get staff that are telling you to buy layers feed for broilers feed because he has tried it sometimes before. You must have some basic understanding. Let me just share this. We were to bring in some BoA and Kalari goods sometimes, and someone said, "Yes, I have Kalari." I said, "So, are you sure?" I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "Okay, we can strike a business. I need about 10 or 15 to do some breeding." Now, he promised the animals are fine. He will come and deliver it. I should pay. I said, "No, I'm going to see what you want to give me. Then I'll pay you." He said, in fact, he has given them vaccinated feed. Oh, I said, important. I said, so you have a vaccinated feed. Dr. Bala, I don't know if you are aware of that. I'm sure that is not coming from your organization.
Vaccinated feed.
You must have an understanding. Otherwise, it's just critical. You may burn your finger. Learn some few things. Go to LBRI, go to people, go to Ife, come to Erie, just take a clue from people. Read. There are a lot of materials online for broiler, for piggery, at least to give you a basic understanding. And of course, like what the organizers of this meeting are doing, we could organize a lot of things around this and just a session on poultry, blah, blah, to just give you some insight to. You may not need to be a savvy, but just to have an understanding. Otherwise, a lot of things will go wrong. So those are the basic things I want to touch because of time, and I could allow others to contribute. Thank you
very much. Thank you very much, sir. That's key. Entrepreneurial skill, which by definition covers managerial skill and the entrepreneurial spirit, passion, zeal, interest. All of that has come from Dr. Tunde today. So without delay, Ife, your opinion on these questions.
Okay, sorry, I missed out on the question. Was that the same question about?
Oh, okay. Starting the animal-based agribusiness was what we were talking about. So we were talking about the skill and competencies that are required to thrive in this sector. We're talking about the regulatory landscape, if there be any, that will be producers ought to be mindful of. Then getting expert support. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so because animals have waste. I don't want to say the smell, but because animals have waste, I won't say the smell, because if you manage it properly, they won't smell. So it's really, really important that you get the location right. You want to set up in a place where it's not close to where people are staying. And at the same time, when you're getting a property, you don't want to stay in a place where you can't be accessible, places with bad roads, places that will increase your cost of production, either of getting feed, of bringing experts to the farm. I think the location is really, really important. And of course, you also have to check, there's something I always like to talk about, and that's making sure that your property has water. It looks like a very simple thing, but we've had some cases whereby after setting up a pig farm, we keep looking for water and we can't get it. So it's really, really important. Apart from piggery, all livestock farms use water. So it's really, really important when you're getting your location, you make sure that accessibility to the raw materials, to the inputs that you're going to use, then accessibility for your customers, the way they can access your farm and get your produce. And of course, water is very, very important. That's the location specific. Now about government regulations, and that means we're talking about the legal, the environmental analysis and all. In the environmental analysis, if you're staying too close to someone, they can, even if you've been there longer, they can actually get you out of that place, because that's just the legal requirement of it. And then paying taxes, agric is tax exempt for now, but we can't say what is going to be like when we have a change in government. And another thing that we also always like to consider is wastage management. Wastage management in the sense that now that we have sustainability and we are talking about agroecology, we are looking at farms that would not produce too much of wastages. That's in the way they are set up. Now we're talking about the IMO system. We are talking about systems that water usages are lower as compared to other, previous ways of setting up a pig farm. Sorry, I'm still specific about pig farming because that's actually my terrain. And
Go ahead.
Okay, so those are the things that you have to consider. Now, apart from the location and setting up your farm, you also have to make sure that you are in a location where their cultural belief enables what you want to do. You won't want to come to the farm one day and see that your property is on fire because your neighbor is thinking, oh, this person is, is doing this, is doing that, and is against my religion and all that. So those are some of the things that we might have to look into. There is a question I missed from the other time, and that was talking about the pitfalls of, of this sector as a whole. Recently, we've had African swine fever, and African swine fever ravaged Okaro. Okaro is a multi-billion pig farm estate, and it raised that industry to the ground. Okaro has nothing. I think just very few animals that have African swine fever, really. So it's really, really important to make sure that where we are buying from our ASF-free zone, when you're in the piggery industry, ASF can wipe out a head in few days and there is nothing to show for it. So it's really, really important that we purchase our animals from ASF-free zone and we'll make sure that our biosecurity is top-notch. We cannot overemphasize on biosecurity. You don't want a situation whereby after setting up your establishment, your business, and then, you don't have it anymore. Then other risk management that we'll start talking about right now and we're putting into place is farm insurance.
Let me take it from you now. We're almost out of time. We need to summarize up before there are a few questions, but not so many. Because of the time, we will not be able to take live questions, live feeds. But I would like to quickly brush over investing in the animal husbandry agribusiness. Investing. Now, from all of our panelists, we can't take so much more, but from our viewers, I'm sure that you've heard more than enough to let you know of the opportunities that are here. We have touched on basically everything that you need to succeed in this enterprise. Yes, there are specific details that will be required going forward. You can contact us on our handles, and that is social media handles. Each of the panelists that are here, they can give you good tutelage and good nurturing and direction as to how to start and how to get on with your animal enterprise in view. We are out of time right now. I would like to, thank you. I would like to thank each of the panelists, for all that they have brought to bear, all the information that they have given you. And just one question that I am able to see here, the question is, what can I do to regulate the death of my poultries? I don't know why you want to regulate the death of your poultry. I don't know why you want death anyway. But what I can tell you for free right now is the poultry sector is, even in fact, every other livestock sector, they are sensitive. Why? Because your mistakes show. You can't make mistakes and get away with it. That is why people think it is difficult. The mistakes show. That is Mr. Mohammed Mukhtar that asked that question. So okay. I think you require is knowledge, skills. You need to be able to ascertain what it is that you are doing wrong for this to be happening. There should be a thorough assessment of your process. It might be the feeding, it might be the housing, it might be the management practice that you're adopting, things as small as we have people that cite poultry productions for eggs and for broilers, for meat on the same farm site. There is a way that you are even supposed to do your orientation to locate them for you to be able to put them on the same farm site. Then there is a distance that you need to assure between both. If all of those things are not met, you find out that your animals are dying and you won't know why. But the problem had been right from inception. You had not gotten some specifics right in your setup. What Ife raised too, sourcing for inputs in terms of animals, livestock that you are going to use, you need sure sources, whether for cattle, goat, and sheep, whether for pigs, whether for poultry, you need sure sources. The market is huge. Lagos hosts the largest market in sub-Saharan Africa for livestock.
$3 billion.
Is
What
referred
is the
to.
role of husbandry and supervision?
Can you mute, please? The market that was referred to by Dr. Tunde Inokiaro is the largest in sub-Saharan Africa. He gave you the figures of how many cattle, goats, sheep goes down every day. And that is not to say that the demand has been met. We still import. So the markets, the opportunities are there. So we would like for you to come on. Youths are ready from what I hear. Then offtake is also there. You just need to do your work, be diligent enough, and know who you are producing for. It will reduce the stress as you carry on in the industry. So it's a wrap. As much as I would love to continue with the question and answer and take you into more of the realities in this space, we would have to go to give room for the next session to happen. I hope our experience sharing has been worth your while. You have picked tips for you to run with. You can reach out to us, like I said, on the social media handles that will be provided for all of the panelists and myself. So we hope to hear from you to help you start on this your journey of the business of agriculture and the business of animal husbandry. Have a pleasant day, everybody. God bless you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Shea.
There's a story to be told, a future to behold. There is more to who we are than what they hear. We have love within our soul, fire in our bones. We've got everything it takes to make it here. There's much more within our soil, more than just our oil. We can grow the food to feed the whole world square. Agriculture is the key. There's treasure in the trees. The time is now, the land is green, wealth is here. This is our nation, this is our land. Nigeria is ours. We have everything we need. If we could only see, the time is now, the land is green, wealth is here. There are 200 billion dreams. Anyone is our nation, this is our land.